like the tone of Tariq. I just don't like how he sits his ass up there with with them greasy ass lips of his talking the bullshit that he talks.
It's to cater to the dust storm. Who wants to, it's to cater to them because that's what they want to hear. They want to hear that Black women are to blame for everything. But then when you when you start asking them, okay, so even if Black women are bad wenches, even if Black women are siding with white supremacy, even if Black women want to be dominated, why are you allowing yourself as a man to be dominated? Freedom of speech, there's freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. But this is what I saw on Instagram, okay? And this was posted by Tariq. Of course, his Dusty Beta Male Brigade wasted no time sharing this, right? And it's disgusting. Understand that this is disgusting. It is an insult to everything that Black women went through on the plantations. But then again, keep in mind, this is the same person who said that Black women voluntarily engaged in relationships with white plantation owners. He put out the false narrative that they were never raped. So of course, it doesn't really surprise me that this is that he will be omitting certain information from this, because again, it's a narrative that's being used to cater to a crowd of dust. But this is a picture. Immediately after slavery, like during Jim Crow, Black men were actually pimping Black women to white males. Let's leave that part of it out. Let's just say they went and got on welfare because they didn't want to have a man. They wanted to have a book of food stamps. They'll sit there and tell you, oh, Black women were on welfare, but won't tell you that there was a long period of time before that where they were just walking out and abandoning their kids.
Again, there has to be within these things that have happened in history, because it's American history, okay? Black people, we are American history. First of all, there had to have been a breakdown. So you can't sit up there and act as if Black women went out there and just was looking to destroy and do these things when that's not the case, and that's not what we did. First of all, if you didn't have men there providing and protecting and doing what they were supposed to do, again, I hate to mention other races, but again, you have the fucking cave ape who's been doing this, and even the worst white female can get protection. So you want to know why Black women went out and got food stamps and all this other bullshit? Hey, look at your behavior. This is ridiculous. Oh, really? Like
these dudes are over here glorifying plantation rape. And it says, so there is a new off-Broadway play called Slave Play where sisters twerk for slave masters. I'm done with the internet for tonight. And if you go into the comment section, you will see a wide variety of just different stupidity, Black women shaming, whatever. So it was interesting when this off-Broadway play, whatever, okay, granted, obviously you have to hold Black women accountable for the fact that they're sitting here willing to engage in this behavior for pay. They shouldn't even be able to pay a Black person to engage in this behavior, whether male or female. But the fact of the matter is, it's very problematic that a Black man created this. This was created by a Black man. Now, if we look throughout history, there's a number of problematic things and catering to white supremacy that was initiated by Black men. We just know that these are facts, these are historical facts, but there's been a theme throughout history where Black men have been very complicit in a lot of different things that have damaged the Black community, but all you will hear is a one-sided argument about what Black women are doing. Now, why would you, as a so-called balanced and fair person, not a propaganda news outlet, why would you put up this play and not have any issue putting Black women out there? Lovely Day One Day said, right, Tariq is such a poverty pimp. He never look at issues thoroughly. Because you're catering to it. It's the same thing that white supremacy do, right? Like you have white supremacy sitting up here talking about, diversity is white genocide, but they will omit the fact that you have numerous white people who are all too willing to engage in these relationships with Black people. Okay, they'll omit the fact that you have a lot of them engaging in bestiality. You'll have, which these things contribute to it. They'll omit the fact that there's an epidemic of white on white crime and white violence. And so they're catering to one side of a story. Tariq is doing the same thing. Tariq is essentially doing the same thing. And he does it with every single topic that he does, because again, he's not about putting out the truth. He's about putting out propaganda that's going to keep his tornado of dust supplying him with money. Does not matter. You still have a Black male who's supposed to be a leader of the Black community pimping slave plays because who's going to be the demographic that goes and watches that and plays in that? So essentially, that's just another way where you have a Black man pimping out and sexually exploiting Black women. They are. And this is interesting how you have Black people who have convinced themselves that they live in a post-racial society, that they have these group of millennials who don't really like racism. But who do you think is going to be going and attending those slave plays? Because you wouldn't be able to make a slave play if there wasn't a high demographic of white people that wanted to see it, for showing slaves twerk for their masters. Now, this fits the narrative of Black women voluntarily engaging in sexual acts on a plantation with white men simply because the white slave owners were too irresistible, and Black women are naturally promiscuous and harlots anyway, so of course they will be twerking to entice these. It's just disgusting if you think about this, the psychology of it.
And I was just really sitting back watching the thing about what is that chick's name? The idiot that tried to go off on you. Yeah, I wanted to say this about her. Like, see, what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of these people that you guys talk about, like, I seen them like 2 years ago, and I knew from then that they wasn't shit, which is why I never watched any of their live streams. I just wasn't up for their shenanigans. And so when you guys start talking about them, it's just another confirmation that they just a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
and Nyla, of course, if you've been watching, she said she got quite a bit more information on it. I'm pretty sure some of that will come up. But this is the thing that I think is interesting, though. When you have Black men putting out anti-Black female propaganda, a lot of these men are not really trying to overthrow it. They're not trying to. They're trying to get closer and some acceptance in it, because you should not see two Black men denigrating and making money off the sexual exploitation and harming of their ancestors on plantations. Like, who does that? There's no possible way you would see Jews making Broadway plays about the sexual degradation I'm sure that they experienced during the Holocaust. How likely is it that the Japanese would be doing Broadway plays about their time when they got put in concentration camps? But the real thing that's most insidious about this is that immediately after slavery, like during Jim Crow, Black men were actually pimping Black women to white males. So that's what's really interesting about this, is that they actually have a history of pimping their women to these white men.
Now, I wanted to say this too, because you had some dusty ass motherfuckers in the chat because they see me, talking to you and on your panel. Oh, she hates men. Now, one time, did you hear me say that I hate men? Okay, what I did do was I agreed with Sin. You will do a lot of shit, and then you sit up and act like we're not, as Black women, are not supposed to respond to that shit that y'all been doing. And that, again, I mean, it's not about who's. You want to sit there and say it's not about who's right, but let's really be factual in the history of the thing. You guys started this shit. So stop fucking lying. Damn. And that's the shit I can't stand, son, the lying.
But it is about who's right, because if you don't admit to what you've done, then how are you going to correct it?
No. I'm saying that it isn't. No, I was saying that it is about who's right in the sense of it. True, I agree with that. Because the thing about it is, you can't admit to what you did if you don't realize that. Like, look, these women are right on what they're saying. That like we did this, we did do this. Like I was telling them, I said, look, I don't understand how. And I said, I love black men. I said, I don't understand how, with the power that you all have, how do you capitulate to a motherfucker that don't even have a real dick? You all are the only ones that have dicks. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Like you could destroy them. Like, get over that. Won't you get over that and just do it?
They have to admit that they failed as a group of men, and they have to admit that they've been allowing and helping and assisting in the domination of their people for 500 years, more than 500 years, in multiple different ways. That is just the reality of it. Because again, this is sickening. Even that you could have, and that's why I say these people are dangerous, because when you have a person like Tariq with his following, and you have this dude who sits up here, talks about how conscious he is, how much of a researcher he is, but yet you put this picture up there to cater to your dusty beta males who are running around regurgitating his nonsensical statements, saying that black women wanted to be bed wenches on the plantation, and relive it, acting much like a lot of these black men were when they were overseers on plantation, because there were black overseers on plantations too.
The stuff that we have going on is because black women don't listen. We're so busy on the sidelines, I guess sabotaging things, and that we don't know how to shut up and all these other things, and that there's a history of this stuff. But when I brought up the point, I said, "What? But wait a minute, though." I said, "You have white women who are thousands of times, and I hate calling them women, K-bait females. They are 50 million times worse than a black woman. And do you really think that these females are sitting up not sabotaging their males, but yet white males are still dominant all over the goddamn earth?" I said, "That's bullshit."
Well, but no matter what black women do, it has nothing to do with black men allowing themselves to be dominated. What does whatever a black woman do have to do with you not stopping that man from doing things to you as another man? That's what they can never tell you. They can say
exactly. Yeah, pretty much.
Like they can say black women won't listen. Okay, black women were doing underhanded things. Even if black women joined over with white men, which they didn't. What does that have to do with you as a man? You're a group of men. What does that have to do with you allowing and not defending yourself and not fighting back and not doing anything about what these men are doing to you? What does that have to do with that? Because just because black women are dominated does not mean that you as a group of men have to be as well.
And this is the thing whereby it just really had pissed me off, because I'm looking like, y'all claiming, you know what I mean? That's why we in the predicament we in, because we don't listen. We doing this, that, and the third. I'm looking like, again, you all are just like really being some kings of deflection. Because again, just like you said, it doesn't have anything to do with what you're allowing other people to do to even you. Like, what the fuck?
Well, and that's why they never actually answer it. When I say, well, but you're not doing anything to defend yourself. If you're not doing anything to defend yourself as a group of men, that has nothing to do with black women. That has to do with you. It's like that has to do with you as a group of men submitting, who are choosing to submit to the dominance of another man. I wouldn't care how much black women stood up and said, oh, we want to be dominated. We want to be bed wenches. We just want to go side with the white man. What does that have to do with you as a black man? So because black women have to, even let's just say hypothetically, black women 100% are complicit with white supremacy. They want to be dominated. What does that have to do with you as a black man? So because they want to be dominated, that means you have to allow yourself to be dominated?
And I'm like, if you all can be, trying to find clever ways to blame black women for this, that, and the third, how come you can't find clever ways to get yourself out of a situation?
It says this is a Broadway play. It's called Slave Play, Slaves Twerk for Their Oppressor. Okay. So this has been posted on social media. As you see on here, Tariq posted this. And he just simply posted this picture right here. This is all he posted. But you have a man that sits up here and put out a narrative that said Black women wanted to be bed wenches. Okay, so now I have a bunch of dusties in my comment section saying Black women weren't raped. They wanted to be bed wenches based on what Tariq put out there. Okay.
Let me just say this, lying motherfucker.
Right.
Like, I don't know how long, because again, I'm gonna say this again. I'm a new YouTuber, so I don't know how long he's been out there doing this crap. But he again, I don't like the tone of Tariq. I just don't like how he sits his ass up there with them greasy ass lips of his talking the bullshit that he talks.
It's to cater to the dust storm. Who wants to, it's to cater to them because that's what they want to hear. They want to hear that Black women are to blame for everything. But then when you when you start asking them, okay, so even if Black women are bed wenches, even if Black women are siding with white supremacy, even if Black women want to be dominated, why are you allowing yourself as a man to be dominated? Then they can't tell you anything. Because ultimately in that system, like I said, regardless to what Black women want to do, we are not conjoined to the hips of Black men. We're not. You have two separate groups of people within one collective Black race. So just because Black women do something does not mean that Black men have to in turn allow themselves to be dominated when they're a group of men who have more physical force to fight off the domination of a lesser group of men who don't possess that same level of force. What do you mean is the video still up? This wasn't a video, this was an Instagram post. So you would just go to Instagram and you can see the context. I can show you the context of it now. This isn't a video, this is an Instagram post. Like I'll show you the whole post. You can see the context of it. Yeah, it's not a video. It's an Instagram post. I don't know if he made a video. I don't watch his channel anymore. I haven't in nearly a year, so I wouldn't know if he made a video on it.
Gab said it's your fault, Cynthia.
Huh?
Gab said it's your fault.
But so this is the picture, and I can tell you for a fact that Tariq has watched my channel more recently than I've watched his, actually fairly recently. And it says, so there is a new off-Broadway play called Slave Play where sisters twerk for slave masters. I'm done with the internet for tonight, guys. I'm out. So this is the context of it. Posting a picture, just putting this on there, not mentioning the fact that the creator of the Black man and the director of the whole Black man too. That was the context of it. So now you have a bunch of Black men in the comment section doing what they do best.
I could imagine the foul shit they were saying. Just completely disgusting.
Yeah, it's filled with bed wench. It's filled with feminists. It's filled with everything.
I'm just
What are you talking about? I don't know who Mr. Calloway is. Like, I don't know who that is. So, I mean, I don't know.
Why do these people keep thinking? Let me just say this. Why do you people keep coming in here trying to act as if she's supposed to know who the hell these motherfuckers are? When some of them may have one or two people on their channel. Like, are you serious?
Or like who you are. Why are you assuming that I would know who you are to remember blocking you? Do you know how many people I've blocked on Nyla's channel? You're not special. So why would I just keep you rooted in my brain as let me make a mental note of this one person who doesn't even have a picture that I blocked? No.
And then on top of that, let me just point this out. In the chat, it's close to 500 people. She really not checking like that, people. I really don't think she petty like that. And I'm gonna just say that straight out. And she's not really paying your ass no mind. Really get out your feelings. Get out your feelings, bro.
How did I get all this started? I didn't get anything started. People started stuff with me. I was simply minding my own business. But I would like to know why it is that if these people, hey Joe, if these men are not out to fuel some kind of, because here's where you could, Gab, start directing the message of a ceasefire. Okay, where you could tell these dudes to stop putting out negative propaganda against Black women. And if you're going to mention this slave play that Black women are acting in, mind you, it's one Black woman acting in it. One of them Because Kay Coleman, you probably said something dumb, and I'm starting to think I should be blocking you off my channel too. If they're going to mention this slave play, then you need to mention the black male creator and the black male director of it. That would be being balanced. But again, they always want to ignore their role in some foolishness.
You want to sit up and blame us, but again, everybody, you want to sit up and talk about, oh, let us lead and do this, that, and the third. How the fuck we gonna let you lead when you up there so busy talking about, oh, I can't do this and oh, I can't do that? Stop. You know what? I'm done. I'm so done. I'm just really done.
It says,
oh, hell no.
the South lives on the McGregor plantation, in a breeze, in the cotton fields, and in the crack of a whip. It's an antebellum fever dream where fear and desire intertwine in the looming shadow of the master's house. Jim trembles as Kanisha handles melons in the college. Elena perspires in time with the plucking of Philip's fiddle in the boudoir, where Dustin cowers at the heels of Gary's big black boot in the barn. Nothing is as it seems, and yet everything is as it seems.
Now, do you notice the tone? Now, I know that you weren't trying to, read about this article in any sort of tone, but just the way they wrote it, it has a very sick, fetish type of dominatrix tone to it, like some just gross ass porno. So, do you see, like this that shit is depraved, man? Like, that's disgusting.
Right, and it says, in this provocative and explosive new play, Jeremy O. Harris rips apart history to shed new light on the nexus of race, gender, and sexuality in the 21st century America. Obie Award winner Robert O'Hara directs.
And my thing is that I'm like, how come Black people as a whole, once they find out about this and catch on to this, like stuff isn't turned over, burning up, motherfuckers ain't getting beat up. Like, I'm not, like, how is this okay? Just like, what do you like? Like, I'm ready to turn over shit in my house. Like, this is pissing me off. Like, I'm like, this is disgusting.
But you got Tariq put over here putting this picture of this black woman on it.
Again, what he's doing is, please believe, he's doing something very strategic. Scapegoating. He is using us as the scapegoat. Meanwhile, they get a pass for their bullshit. That's what's going on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.